Hello, I'm Melissa McCarney, founder of Better Bosses, and today we're going to talk about how you can develop a plan on a page for your team. I have a little confession to make. I get an absolute kick out of strategic planning. I've been doing it for a very long time. I've had roles as the head of strategic change, where I led the strategic planning process for a well-known mortgage broking business for 3 or 4 years in a row. And I also, in my most recent role as the general manager of marketing at another mortgage broking business, I also did a lot of work developing the strategy, firstly for my department and also for the business in its entirety. Now, the thing about strategy and strategic planning is people often freak out and think, what is it? And God, it's so overwhelming. How am I going to go about it? Today, I'm going to show you a very simple way to plan. I've got a couple of great templates for you that will give you the framework to work through a step-by-step process to develop your plan for your team. And it will also give you the tools to be able to communicate that plan that you develop with other key stakeholders within your business. So let me just share my screen with you. These tools are available to be downloaded on the Better Bosses website. When you download the Plan on a Page tool, you will see that there is a page here that describes the tool, what's the point of the tool in a little bit more detail and when to use it, and some really important things to note. But for this video, I'm going to focus more on the tool itself and walk you through step by step how to use the template. So the first, there are 2 templates. I'll just quickly show you them. One is the summary of the plan for your team, and it goes into some of the detailed initiatives and KPIs. And the second template actually helps to tie those initiatives into the company's strategic plan and also lets you show a high-level roadmap for how you're going to roll those initiatives out. But let's go one by one through the tools. So here, you start obviously up the top here with your department name. So let's say, for example, if I was the GM of marketing, so if I was doing this for the marketing team, it would be the marketing plan on a page for whatever time period you're working on. So it could be for the full year, so it could be for financial year 21, or maybe you're only planning on a quarterly cycle, so it could be for the next 90 days or for quarter 3. However you're going to plan and in whatever cycle you're running for, just make sure you make it clear on the template. Then the first section here is really a very kind of high level, quick summary of your department's goals. So you want to write something here that is quite straightforward and really helps your team and the broader organisation understand what you're focusing on. So the example here could be to build a superior customer experience that attracts and retains more customers. You don't want it to be a war and peace sentence, just something really simple that explains what your team's overall goal and purpose is. Then you've got your key focus areas. So really here, there's space along the top of this template for 4 key focus areas. You may need less or you may need more. And there's an example here of a working one. So what you want to do is call your focus area something and write a very quick summary of it. So here, for example, redesign the experience on the website to improve shopping cart conversion. Now, the way to come up with these focus areas, ideally, is actually with your team. So what I have done in the past is I've brought the whole marketing team together and we've run a half-day workshop, full-day workshop. That was when we could do it when we were all there in person. Through a virtual process, you might want to break it down into some sections and run it over a number of days. But what you really want to do is you want to kind of brain dump everything. What could our focus areas be? And you may end up with 10. And then you want to narrow that down to 4 or 5 by maybe grouping a few different things or prioritizing them by what is really the most important and what is going to have the biggest impact to the business, the most positive impact to the business if we focus on it. So you need to get down to 4, 5 at a maximum. Anything more than that, it just becomes too overwhelming and too complex. And what you're trying to do by having a plan on the page is really enable your team to direct their time and efforts. And you want them to go, okay, well, I've got this particular task in front of me. Does it fit into one of these 4 strategic pillars or not? Or I'm going to make a decision. Does the decision I'm about to make, which pillar is it, which focus area is it important to, and how should I direct that decision-making process? So you want to kind of keep it to 4 or 5 focus areas. 3 is also fantastic. So pop your focus areas along the top here. You've got the one example, and then you do the same thing with your initiatives. So once you've got your focus area, you go through what are the could be 5, 6, 10 initiatives that could be done to make sure we deliver against that focus area. And then again, you want to narrow that broader list down to the top 3 or top 2, 3 at the most in terms of initiatives that you've got here. And then what are the measures of success or KPIs going to be for that particular focus area? So again, in this example here, we've got the redesign the experience of the website to improve shopping cart conversion. 2 initiatives, so identify the drop-off points and design a solution for each, upgrade the back end of the website. And then you've got your KPIs, which would be shopping cart conversion increases, and also maybe a time frame for when the back end deployment would occur. So you can see here that what I've done is keep these descriptions very simple. If you need to expand them out in another document, then go for it. Like you might find that you need a Excel worksheet that actually goes through some of these initiatives in a bit more detail and a bit more description and put some accountability versus your team members on. So, you can work that out later. What this really is a process for you to follow to come up with a very strong but simple summary of what your team's going to focus on. So keep the explanations as simple and as high level as you possibly can. So you work through that for all of your initiatives and your measures of success. So once you've got all of those focus areas and initiatives sorted, the next thing to do is to workshop with your team. What are the barriers to achieving all of these focus areas and KPIs? What are the enablers, and also what support might be required and from who? Again, you might come up with 6 barriers, try to pull them back down into 3. What are the top 3? And what are the top 3 enablers? And ideally, if you've got kind of enablers that help to overcome your barriers, that's fantastic. That's what you really want to do. What this also does, talking about barriers and enablers and support required with your team, helps them get an understanding of how capable you all are as a team of achieving these focus areas. And what you want to really work through with the team once you know what these barriers and enablers are is how are you going to overcome those barriers, and how are you going to really accentuate the enablers to make sure that you're driving your success. And the support required, you might say here we need, if it's for a marketing function, you might need some support from IT to build for the back end of the website. So you would put that support required down there. So this gives you a great summary for your plan on a page, and has that kind of detailed level of initiatives and measures of success. The next thing to do then is you want to sanity check this plan against the business's plan, the overall company plan. Hopefully your company actually has one. If they don't, that's okay. It's still ideal to build a plan for your team or for your department, because the people within your team need the guidance. If they have a plan, they know how to make decisions, they know where to spend their time and effort, they feel more confident and engaged as to where the business is going and where your team's going, and they also will feel more confident in you as a leader because you have a plan. So it's important to go through a planning process, even if your company isn't, and just use your common sense and your intuition around what the company needs you to focus on, because you will know, you'll have a gut feeling around what that needs to be, and you will know based on the goal that your team is trying to achieve what you need to focus on. So If you do have some direction from the company and the company has strategic pillars, this is a really great way to summarize how your plan ties into the overall company plan. So down the left-hand side here, you have the strategic pillars of the company. So you just pop those in, and then you have your focus areas, which you've just come up with. So you can see there here that I've got the redesign the experience on the website. I've pulled that in. And then a really nice way to tie these two things together is to say, okay, well, this focus area for the marketing team, it actually helps to achieve helps the company to achieve strategic pillar 1, 2, and 3. So that really, because each focus area that you come up with is likely to deliver on multiple things for the company. And this is a great way to really highlight that. So you just pick up these boxes and move them around and copy and paste them in the PowerPoint template when you download it from the Better Bosses website. So you just pop your department in here as well. So marketing's strategy and roadmap, and this is your summary of that. So then you take the initiatives that you had on the previous page and you can map them out over the quarters here. So you've got them over that time period and then you just pop your initiatives there. So for example, identifying the drop-offs and developing solutions for those drop-off points around this focus area might take 3 quarters to achieve. It's quite long. Hopefully it doesn't take you that long to achieve, but you get the gist. Upgrading the back end of the website might take 2 quarters. So again, this really gives you a nice template to summarize what your team is going to be focusing on and when. And you can also use little arrows to highlight dependencies if they exist. So, you know, you might be doing an initiative here, but this one is dependent on it, and it really highlights how that works. So if you just follow the kind of different sections of the template step by step and work through them with your team, you will find the planning process is a lot less arduous than it might seem before you start. And then what these templates do is they give you the ability to engage your boss and your stakeholders around what your department's focusing on. So let's say, for example, you take this page to your boss, or you probably take both pages to your boss, and you would say, this is the goal for my team, and this is what we are planning to focus on for the year. Do you have any input or any guidance on this? And also, you may actually require approval from your boss. So depending on how that works, this is a great way to kind of lay it out in a really simple template to say, this is the summary of what we're doing. Are you on board with that? Another great way to use both of these summaries is with some of your key stakeholders. So let's say, for example, you've got some dependencies on the IT department. Well, I would take this summary and I would go and show it to the head of IT and say, this is what we're trying to achieve in marketing. I need your support on these things. Now, they also may have some support that they require from you. So that enables you to have a collaborative conversation about what you need from each other. And the good thing about that is it makes life a lot easier for your team down the track when they start to engage with the IT team, for example, because everyone's kind of, the leaders are on the same page about where everyone's going and what everybody's working towards. It'll also give you a pretty quick indication whether you've missed something important. So take, for example, when I was the GM of marketing, I had one of my key stakeholders was the GM of distribution. And his team was heavily reliant on a lot of things that marketing needed to deliver. So getting his input into the plan to make sure we hadn't missed anything, and also explaining to him, these are all the things that the marketing team needs to achieve for the year, and we're prioritising these things for these reasons. And that helps to really manage expectations with that particular stakeholder. So if all of a sudden they pop up and say, we really need the marketing team to do this and we kind of need it yesterday, you can go back to the conversation and to the summary you've showed them and said, I understand that. Here are the other priorities we're working on. So we need to work together around when this can be delivered for you and what might need to give, or whether we can actually deliver it based on what else the marketing team is working on. So it's a great template and summary to use for those reasons. And of course, very importantly, it's a great summary for your team to have in front of them all the time. And what you can do is you can keep coming back to this on a regular basis. So let's say, for example, you are planning on an annual basis. Every quarter, you might want to come back to this and kind of say, okay, we've achieved these initiatives, tick, 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 aren't we all fantastic, and celebrate those wins. We've achieved these results, or we're behind on these results. How might we have to adjust our plan going forward? And regularly review the plan accordingly so that it moves and helps you really achieve what you want to achieve. So I wish you the very best of luck, and I hope you find this template really useful. Please reach out to us at hello@betterbosses.com.au if you have any questions. We're more than happy to help. Thank you very much.